Hey, Floyd, what was your reaction to the fight, man? What was your reaction to the fight, son?
Nah, Lamont won.
Who you got won?
Lamont.
Man, you gotta just create more action. That's a sparring session as far as I'm concerned.
Boxing legend Floyd Mayweather shared his thoughts on the Gervonta Davis vs. Lamont Roach fight, which sparked major controversy after it ended. Shakur Stevenson also spoke out, insisting it wasn't a draw and that Roach deserved the win. He criticized Davis for being overconfident and underestimating Roach, saying Davis didn't see him as a serious threat, which caused his struggles in the ring. Fans agreed with Stevenson, expressing their frustration over Davis's performance.
Nah, Lamont won.
Who you got won?
Lamont.
You got Lamont won? By how many rounds?
I don't know.
You still want the Tank Davis fight?
So what?
You still want the Tank Davis fight? What went wrong? What went wrong? Take out a little steam or fire out of it, or is it still the same?
I mean, we're gonna see. I'm the best fighter in boxing. I've been saying this, so.
Shakur, what went wrong for Gervonta in this fight? It's just because, could we say maybe because Lamont didn't come in, they really...
I think he got overconfident. I think he was thinking Lamont wasn't that good. I told everybody how the fight was going to go. The fight went exactly how I said. Exactly.
After seeing this performance from Gervonta, do you believe your confidence has gone a little bit more up?
My confidence been up. I've been knew I was the best.
Shakur tweeted about the Tank vs. Roach fight, saying it went exactly as he expected and giving his take for fans who aren't familiar with boxing. Many agreed with him and called for a rematch. Renowned boxer and media personality Jake Paul also voiced his disappointment, saying the fight didn't have the intensity expected from a championship bout. He criticized Davis for not creating enough action, comparing the match to a sparring session rather than a real competition, and added that this wasn't the Gervonta Davis he knew, pointing out a noticeable drop in his usual aggressive style.
Man, he got lucky as a draw. He did a good fight though. I thought he won it, but man, he gotta just create more action. That's a sparring session as far as I'm concerned.
Oh my God.
But God damn, that's not the Gervonta I know.
Champion Demetrius Andrade shared his thoughts on the fight, praising Lamont Roach's impressive skills and saying the match shouldn't have ended in a draw. He felt Roach did enough to earn the win despite the controversial decision and highlighted the high quality of the bout, noting the competitiveness and skill shown by both fighters.
Roach had something that we all wasn't expecting. He might have had power. His distance was good. He came in ready, prepared to fight, and he showcased that. And man, we had a good fight overall. It was a good IQ fight.
In all honesty, do you think Roach pulled it off?
I'm not going to say that at all. I don't think that the draw is good, you know. Other than that, it was a great fight. We'll love to see it again. It's me again, Caleb Plant, Chalo, Munguia, Edgar Berlanga. Where the fuck you motherfuckers at? Let's get this shit happen. You already know. Stop playing. Let's get these shits popping, man. Time is ticking. Tick, 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 tick.
I mean, 100%. What do you think about Berlanga's obviously opponent that he chose? I mean,
lightweight contender Isaac Cruz disagreed with the draw decision, highlighting a key moment when Davis took a knee. He argued that the judges and referee didn't give Roach the points he deserved for that moment, suggesting this oversight played a role in the unfair draw.
Pues ahora sí que dieron una gran pelea, ahora sí que me sorprendió la pelea que dio Lamont Roach y bueno, fue una gran pelea para todos los aficionados.
¿Tú crees que fue un empate?
No, yo creo que no, creo que le quedó una de ver la caída a Lamont Roach, pero bueno, decisión de los jueces y del referee que no le hizo válida la caída, no le hizo el conteo.
¿Qué le fue mal en esta pelea para Gervonta? ¿Qué fue lo que no hizo para que los jueces le den esta pelea? ¿Tú qué piensas?
Bueno, él nada más apostó a un solo round, a un solo golpe para poderlo noquear, y el cual Loma venía muy bien preparado, muy bien concentrado en el plan de trabajo. Y bueno, creo que a Tank le faltó presionar, tirar más golpes para ser más contundente y que se viera más efectivo a la hora de la victoria.
¿Te gustaría ver una revancha entre ellos?
Pues estaría muy agradable. Ahora sí que la primera estuvo muy buena, yo creo que la segunda también.
Former world champion Danny Garcia called the fight a great matchup that highlighted the talents of both boxers. He noted that Gervonta Davis might have had an off night, reminding fans that not every performance shows a fighter at their best, and stressed how unpredictable boxing is and how tough it is for fighters to maintain peak performance consistently.
There's no doubt this was a statement performance.
Danny, what's going on, my man? What do you think of the fight?
Stay with me, right?
Danny, what do you think of the fight, man? Are you surprised by the outcome?
Thank you.
It was a close fight.
I'm surprised the way Lamont fought. I knew Lamont was going to come to fight. It was an opportunity of a lifetime. He did a good job. He fought a great fight.
What was wrong with Tank Davis? I mean, I was
said what was
expecting
wrong
him to
with
knock
him?
him out.
Every night in boxing is not your best, you feel me? But at least you got the
Would you
draw.
like to see a rematch of this or jump into a fight with Shakur Stevenson?
They don't, whatever they want to do. You think it was a draw? I don't know. It was a good fight.
Veteran boxing commentator Jim Lampley said draws are usually disappointing for both fans and fighters. He noted that many expected Gervonta Davis to score a knockout, especially since Lamont Roach had moved up in weight for the fight. Lampley added that Davis's failure to do so could be seen as a setback, potentially affecting his position in the lightweight division.
Bag for fans, for people in the sport, etc., etc. I thought it was, in essence, the right decision. The only question about whether the upset draw is justified is whether Steve Willis erred in not deducting a point in a late round when Tank Davis appeared to touch the canvas with his hand. And, you know, that is going to stay in the woodwork and haunt the fight in the breach a little bit. But at the end of the day, it's a setback in Tank's career and for his reputation. I think most observers expected him to knock Roach out, particularly because Roach was moving up from 130 to 135. Sometimes when a fighter moves up in weight, he gets stronger, and it looked as though maybe Roach did get stronger and had a greater ability to resist Tank's power than other opponents have had, because Tank did tag him with a lot of clean shots, and he wound up throwing more punches than he likes to throw to get that done. He tagged him both on the chin and to the belly, etc., and couldn't seem to hurt Roach. And that was another surprise in the overall picture of the fight.
Undefeated welterweight champion Terence Crawford took to social media, expressing shock that Davis's kneeing moment wasn't counted as a knockdown. In his tweet, he questioned the officials, saying it seemed like they forgot the rules, writing, "I've never seen someone take a knee and they don't count it as a knockdown. Must have forgot the rules for tonight."
Left. Oh, and that right, but Davis took off some of the steam of the punch, but still, Roach leaned with that.
He took a knee.
He took a knee. What was he doing?
They forgot his...
Former three-division world champion Abner Mares called for a rematch between Davis and Roach, saying Roach showed his full abilities, which many, including Davis, may have underestimated. He added that this misjudgment influenced the fight's outcome and that a rematch would give both fighters a chance to adjust their strategies.
I thought Roach closed the last 2 rounds. And then if you think about it, that knockdown was a knockdown. He took a knee, they should have counted. And, you know, those 2 points, like Roach said, you know, it would have been on his favor and he would have won the fight. But, you know, I hope they run it back again, which I'm sure they will. And, you know, we get more of a clear, you know, victory for either side.
How much of tonight was Lamont Roach being Lamont Roach, and how much of it was Gervonta Davis maybe not being at his best?
It was more. Reason? It was more. Yeah, well said. I think it was more of Lamont being Lamont. A lot of people were not expecting that. He was catching the punches really well, took them well. Great combinations, and just stood in the pocket and fought him right in the center of the ring. Even Tank was not expecting that, and I think that threw him off. And you know, great great performance by Lamont Roach, and Tank Davis. He's got to fight more. I mean, he's not as consistent with the fighting, and you know, again, the timing probably wasn't there for him this fight.
What does it say about Tank, man? Some people had him as high as, you know, top 5, top 10 pound.
You know what that's gonna say about Tank now? Obviously, people are gonna talk shit, and people are gonna, you know, put him, you know, probably take him down on the pound for pound list, and you know, it is what it is. But so that's why Tank has to come back and really get that rematch and really make a statement, if it's with him or whoever else.
And lastly, Adam, you know, people wanted to know who's the best lightweight. Is it Keyshawn, Shakur, or Tank? Do you think he can still beat those guys, or did Lamont show some things tonight that those guys are just...
Lamont's definitely there. Lamont can fight any of these guys. Yeah.
A Washington, D.C. based boxer spoke about the potential fallout from the fight's controversial result, warning that Gervonta Davis's young, passionate fan base could react strongly and cause unrest. He highlighted the negative energy around the event and stressed the importance of managing fan reactions responsibly in high-stakes situations.
My reaction for this Tank versus Roach fight, I'm really disappointed, to be honest. Like, it's leaving a bad taste in my mouth. And the reason why is they leaving a negative energy out there. And a lot of y'all might not understand because y'all don't come from underserved environments or was never incarcerated or things like that. I'm from DC and I know how we get active. I know people from Baltimore and I know how they get active. When we talk about rivalries are cool. When I'm talking Commanders, Cowboys, stuff like that, that's friendly and cool. We talk our trash, but when we talking about when it's negative and we know that Tank have a young following and things like that, and I'm seeing certain people at these press conferences, violent individuals, and things can really turn out bad. So yeah, I understand they selling the fight and things like that, but certain things, it can get real bad. And I don't want to see nobody lose their life. Let this be a healthy rivalry. Y'all go in there, best man win, and fight over. It should be all love. We got to be careful with the messaging that we putting out. It's Mr. We Fit.
In his post-fight remarks, Gervonta Davis said the match was good for boxing and praised Lamont Roach as a tough opponent. He acknowledged that fans expect knockouts from him and that a draw isn't ideal for someone of his reputation, showing he's aware of the high expectations and respects Roach's skills.
Good night for the sport. Didn't get what the decision I want, but we didn't get a loss either, so I felt like I won it, the last couple rounds, so it's cool. Lamont is a great fighter. Hopefully I could get that rematch because I know what I can do in a fight, but it's cool.
Okay, questions?
Okay. Tank, it's KG with Fight Hype. I wanted to ask Tank, when the decision was read, the way that you reacted, it looked like you was upset. You slammed your gloves on the canvas. What was going through your mind when you heard the decision?
I didn't slam my glove on the canvas.
Okay, maybe I mistook from my vantage point, so that's my mistake. But what was going through your mind when you heard the decision?
Nobody like a draw, from a guy that get knockouts and things like that, but it's cool. I feel like if we fight again, I could do more, and I should have did more. I was lost in I lost track in the rounds. That's why we need what is it called? Yeah, man. I didn't know what round it was.
Calvin Ford, Gervonta Davis's trainer, reiterated that he had always recognized Lamont Roach's talent and skills, showing that Team Davis knew the challenges Roach would bring and appreciated the competitive nature of the fight.
Good night for the sport. Didn't get what the decision I want, but we didn't get a loss either, so I felt like I won it, the last couple rounds, so it's cool. Lamont is a great fighter. Hopefully I could get that rematch because I know what I can do in a fight, but it's cool.
Okay, questions?
Okay. Tank, it's KG with Fight Hype. I wanted to ask Tank, when the decision was read, the way that you reacted, it looked like you was upset. You slammed your gloves on the canvas. What was going through your mind when you heard the decision?
I didn't slam my glove on the canvas.
Okay, maybe I mistook from my vantage point, so that's my mistake. But what was going through your mind when you heard the decision?
Nobody like a draw, from a guy that get knockouts and things like that, but it's cool. I feel like if we fight again, I could do more, and I should have did more. I was lost in I lost track in the rounds. That's why we need what is it called? Yeah, man.
Roach's performance earned widespread praise, with many saying he was the first fighter to truly challenge Davis. Fans are calling for a rematch, believing Roach deserves another chance to prove himself.
Lamont Roach definitely earned my respect tonight. Definitely one of the first fighters to put Tank to the test. Just matching fire with fire. That was a good fight. For me, I need to see a rematch ASAP. But yeah, Tank definitely took the knee, 100%. I see Roach winning that 7-5 personally. But boxing is business, so they were never going to let him have that win. Roach's timing was on point though. No easy knockouts tonight. The sharp counters, very good fighter. Let me know what you guys think, if that robbery was fair or not. Leave it in the comments.
Many fans and analysts argue that Roach was robbed, pointing to the moment when Davis took a knee but wasn't ruled a knockdown. This controversy has only increased calls for a rematch.
Lamont Roach just got cheated. And Lamont Roach's fight versus Tank Davis just ended in a draw. And based on what I just seen, he was winning the fight. But you know what makes it worse? What makes it worse is Tank Davis took a knee. When you take a knee in boxing, that's supposed to be an automatic knockdown. They literally let Tank Davis take a knee. The referee wanted to count. He chose not to count. He went to the corner, wiped off his hair, wiped off his eye, and then kept fighting. And to me, that makes no sense. How are you able to do that and not be a knockdown? Yo, boxing is crazy, bro. This stuff is wild. And you know what makes it even wilder? His excuse said, I just got my hair done and my hair was in my eye. Bruh, cut your hair. This is boxing, man. Y'all dudes be trying to look too pretty. But with all that being said, it was a great fight. I just hate the ending. Give that man Lamont Roach the knockdown so he could go ahead and win.
For the first time in his career, Davis didn't score a knockout, leaving some fans disappointed and even booing him, highlighting the high expectations he carries.
Oh my god, Gervonta just lost his perfect record. His fight with Lamont Roach was scored as a majority draw. Roach threw more punches and landed more punches on Gervonta. Just look at the numbers. And was this a knockdown? Roach after the fight wasn't satisfied and he said if that was scored as a knockdown, he would have won the fight tonight. Gervonta after the fight said that some grease from his hair just got in his eyes and he couldn't see well. Crowd started booing Tank, his own crowd. We all know boxing fans. They love you one day, they hate you one day. That's exactly what Tank said. What do you think really happened? Was that because Lamont is really that guy? Or is it because Tank really needs to take time to himself, retire, go back to school as he mentioned? I don't know. But you go ahead and comment. Let's talk about it.
Davis's coach defended his fighter while also praising Roach, emphasizing that neither clearly won and that Roach deserved respect for his performance.
Well, both of us back today was that again. Nobody won. Nobody won. He can sit there and say, I didn't get knocked out. That's the only thing that's good to say. I didn't get knocked out. Maybe that was his championship because he didn't. You know what I'm saying? He fought a brilliant fight. Salute goes off to him. You know what I'm saying? You know, Tank was talking about retirement stuff. That might change that. We don't know. We have to wait and see.
MMA journalist Ariel Helwani suggested that this could be one of Davis's final fights, as he has hinted at retirement, and believes the disappointing result might lead him to leave boxing sooner than expected.
The great Gervonta Tank Davis. He's returning to defend his WBA lightweight title against Lamont Roach, who is moving up from super featherweight. Tank Davis is these days kind of averaging one fight a year, which is a shame. He wants to have 3 more fights and then retire by the end of 2025. Does he get 3 fights this year? Does he actually retire by the end of the year? Who knows? But this may be one of the last times we see him, at least for now. So catch him while you can. One of the most exciting, one of the most hard-hitting fighters in the sport, and we suspect once again that he wins, and I suspect that he wins via stoppage once again. He is one of the hardest hitting guys in the history of the sport, and we suspect that if he gets by Roach, there could be some big fights on the horizon this year. We don't know, but he's got to get by Lamont Roach first. That test goes down this Saturday in Brooklyn.
Even some Davis supporters acknowledged that Roach fought well and handled Davis's power impressively, marking a surprising shift in opinion. Jalen Love stated that Lamont Roach outboxed Davis and did enough to earn the victory, insisting he deserved the win.
Hey, man, what'd you think? The crowd didn't seem to like the draw. Did you think that was the right call?
Nah, man, I ain't gonna lie. I love Gervonta. Obviously, we come from a lot of the same shit. But I love boxing, and I seen Lamont Roach outclass Gervonta Davis tonight.
Yeah.
And I ain't against Tank. I'm just a boxer. If you ask me, I'm gonna keep it real.
Yeah.
I thought Lamont did enough to receive the victory.
Yeah.
Obviously, it didn't go his way. It was a good fight. The boxing fans won. And shit.
About the knockdown and no knockdown.
I think if anytime you take a knee or touch the canvas, blood touch, and it's through to a bunt punch, or even if you hurt and you go down, that's a knockdown. That's what I know from the rules of boxing since it started. You touch the canvas, it was not counted. He put a halt to the fight to go get his face wiped. These are all penalties, points, all different shit. So, you know, from the game that I know if I was in that bitch, that would have been a knockdown.
But it is what it is. Can't let the cash cow go. He's filling out these arenas. You're supposed to do that.
Yeah, man, G. So, I mean, he was better against Frank Martin. It looked like he was flat tonight.
Styles make fights.
Yeah.
Styles make fights.
Yeah.
And Lamont Roach is a stellar fucking fighter. If you know Lamont Roach, know his father, know his brother, know the whole, they come from a great pedigree of boxing, and you've seen that tonight.
That's a wrap for tonight. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more updates next time.